We're off today to see the royals. Everybody may know about the British royal family, but did you know the Danish has their own royal family?
Welcome back to my channel. We're kicking off this vlog with a royal breakfast. Just kidding. This was our hotel breakfast buffet, which we loaded up on because we had a big day ahead of us.
It's the Danish breakfast of champions. We got fried herring, pate, sausage, eggs on a big piece of crusty bread.
Copenhagen is a city where history and modern life intertwine, with Danish royalty at the heart of it all. Denmark's monarchy is one of the oldest in the world.
Our first stop today is going to be Amalienborg. Now, the thing with visiting the two castles here is that it's advised that you make reservations for your ticket. The best thing to do would be to go online and make your hourly reservations because they come in increments of time like that, like in hours or half hours. Otherwise, if you wait in the queue, you may risk them running out of tickets. So our time entry at Amalienborg is at 10, and the quickest way to get to Amalienborg from our hotel is to take the subway. We're running a few minutes behind, but it'll be okay. The ticket is good for entry between 10 to 10:30, so we have a little bit of a buffer time there. And look at all of these bikes parked in front of the train station, but we're actually going to the metro stop, which is just across the street from the main station.
It's not a horse and carriage, but to be in a city with a robust transportation system feels like a luxury to me. I'm side-eyeing Los Angeles.
Our train is coming in 2.5 minutes. See, that was easy. If you know how to use the New York subway system, then you definitely know how to use the Copenhagen subway system. They make things here very efficient and straightforward. This is the marble church. Such a grand structure. It is the largest dome in Northern Europe.
Take in the views now, but we will see it again on this tour. It just happened to be in front of the metro stop when we had gotten off. For centuries, the Danish royal family has represented stability and continuity in Denmark, and today they remain a beloved symbol of national pride. It's no surprise that Copenhagen's royal attractions are at the top of every tourist list when visiting this capital city.
Oh my goodness, I hope that's not the queue to get in. I mean, we do have time entry tickets, and all the more reason to get those time entry tickets. So I wonder if these are like the 10 to 10:30 a.m. people. Actually, that line was to watch the changing of the guards over there. But luckily, I already have footage from yesterday walking through this area, and they happen to be changing the guards at 2. So we can go straight into the museum.
To clarify, the changing of the guards happen at noon every day, so I'm not sure what ceremony the people were watching at 10 a.m. The other day, we did see some sort of ceremony at 2 p.m. Here's the footage of that ceremony from the other day. At Amalienborg Palace, witnessing the changing of the guards is a quintessential Copenhagen experience. Dressed in their distinctive blue uniforms and tall bearskin hats, they proceed with precision and ceremony, reflecting Denmark's royal heritage. If the monarch is in residence, the guards perform an even grander version of the event, adding to the spectacle. Arrive early for a prime viewing spot and immerse yourself in this majestic display of Danish history and pageantry.
We're gonna make a break for it while everybody's over there watching changing the guards. We're gonna go ahead and enter the castle.
The Amalienborg Museum offers a fascinating glimpse into the lives of Denmark's royal family, both past and present. Located within the Grand Amalienborg Palace, the museum showcases a stunning collection of royal artifacts, from opulent gowns and regal portraits to personal belongings and historical documents. Visitors can explore royal chambers and learn about the monarchy's significant role in shaping Denmark's history and culture. The museum also offers temporary exhibitions, often focused on key moments in the Danish royals' lives, making it a must-see for anyone interested in royalty and tradition.
This is so cute. I've never seen this before in a palace, which is, there's a chance for you to interact and draw a portrait for yourself. I love it. These are examples of people's self-portrait. So I guess you could feel like you're royalty among these other royal portraits.
Here is the office of King Christian X, who ruled during the occupation in World War II. He would ride his horse around Amalienborg every day without guards as a symbol of Danish resistance. Through these halls, you get a taste of what the royals were like if they weren't conducting official business.
The royals sure like their games. So they have a deck box like people who play Magic the Gathering have deck boxes, but here's their version. Gotta carry around the cards somehow. Are they playing chess or are they playing checkers? I'm a little confused. You know how hobbies are a huge thing here in Denmark? Well, looks like the royals had their own hobbies. They enjoyed painting.
I have to admit, I was a little spooked out with the polar bear rug. I think the teeth cancels out the hygge feeling. Here's something comforting after seeing the polar bear, this grand portrait of Queen Margrethe II, who just abdicated the throne to her son. Her son, King Frederik X, was crowned at the beginning of 2024, so this exhibit in the museum is brand new. I felt like it was a good way for us to get acquainted with the king.
And again, I love how they keep children in mind and keep this exhibit interactive. Doesn't matter that we're in a castle and this exhibit on this floor is all about the current king.
There was footage of the king's speech from January 2024. I didn't understand it because it was in Danish, but they had the translated text in English posted.
Oh, that's so awesome. He ran the Copenhagen Marathon in 1993. That's so awesome. That was the finisher shirt for the Copenhagen Marathon in 1994. And here's the interesting thing. He is fast. Look at that. 3 hours and 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Not too shabby for a king.
Alrighty, I'm now a fangirl for King Frederik X since he's a runner like me. What's a royal palace without a library? Keep that in mind when we visit Christianborg later in this vlog.
The Amalienborg Museum is pretty small. We were able to get through it in about an hour. I have reservations for Rosenborg at 12:20 and it's only 11 o'clock, so we have a few extra minutes here to walk around the courtyard and take a look at all of the buildings in this square. And that's the museum part that we had just gone into. There are more buildings in this square. The royal family lives here when they're in Copenhagen. Now, don't ask me which building they live in. I have no idea. But since the Danish flag isn't up, I don't think they're in residence. Who knows? It's the Olympics right now in Paris, so maybe that's where King Frederik and Queen Mary are. Maybe they're in Paris right now cheering on the Danish team.
I later looked it up, and yes, they were in Paris cheering on the Danish Olympic team.
That's an interesting concept, a Segway tour here in Amalienborg. Just wondering how they deal with the cobblestones.
Nearby was a fountain and garden that was worth checking out, or at least take a break at. We had plenty of time before our next timed entry at Rosenborg.
And even outside the palace, there's an area here where you can come out and take a break and enjoy nature.
Straight ahead was the Marble Church, which was on our way to Rosenborg. Let's go check it out. The Marble Church, or Frederiks Church, is one of Copenhagen's most stunning architectural landmarks, known for its grand copper dome, which is one of the largest in Europe. Located near Amalienborg Palace, the church's beautiful Baroque design took over 150 years to complete. We still have an hour before we need to enter Rosenborg, so we're going to stop by the Marble Church, which is across from Amalienborg Castle.
Oh, so it's actually Marmor Kirke, just like the subway stop.
The entry didn't cost money or a reservation. However, the payment was silence. And being off the grid for 5 minutes, now that's cleansing of the soul. Inside, visitors are greeted by an awe-inspiring interior adorned with intricate marble work, statues of saints, and elegant columns. The church also offers a chance to climb to the top of the dome for a panoramic view of Copenhagen. The Marble Church stands as a symbol of Denmark's royal and religious heritage, making it a must-see for architecture enthusiasts and history lovers alike.
Kongens have. Looks like we're here at the Royal Gardens. The King's Garden, which means we have arrived near Rosenborg Castle. It's a well manicured garden, but of course, right? I mean, it's fit for a king. Everything seems perfect and symmetrical, and I think that's what gives off a sense of security and hence happiness. There's a playground in back of me, so the King's Garden is also a place for children to play. There's also a cafe, so you can grab a cafe here at the King's Garden. I love how this community space that's called the King's Garden is open to us peasants to come here, enjoy, relax. Oh my, I think that's it. I think that's Rosenborg Castle. I'm glad we had plenty of time to walk over here, because otherwise we would have just ran over here from Amalienborg and not have a chance to walk through the King's Garden. Oh, they got fish here in the moat.
This rose garden is still part of the King's Garden. It's a serene contrast to the grandiosity of Rosenborg that we were about to encounter.
You get a good view of Rosenborg Castle from the Rose Garden.
Built by Christian IV as a summer residence, you'll find the Danish crown jewels and royal regalia stored here.
Once again, it pays to have a time entry ticket. So we got here 10 minutes early, so they just had us step aside for a bit and then we get to go in.
We started the tour of this Renaissance-era castle in the winter room, which unfortunately for us was under renovation. But at least the rest of the castle was intact, and I felt like I was in an art museum featuring Renaissance period art.
Donde está el baño? Oh, wrong language, but still, I'm looking for a bathroom. Again, the royal bathroom. They kept things really simple. Well, you could put your newspapers right there at least.
As you explore its lavishly decorated rooms, you'll discover stunning artifacts, including royal portraits, thrones, and exquisite tapestries.
Feeling overwhelmed after looking at all of these intricate Renaissance works?
Yeah, well, that and walking for 3 straight days.
Even in a royal castle, there's a place for you to take a seat and have a pause. Just taking a break here at Rosenborg Castle.
I was astounded by the amount of artwork that was preserved. It did feel overwhelming, so I was glad that they had regular chairs for us to sit down and take in the collections.
Oh, I wonder how old that piano is, because look, the keys are black, or the whole notes are black, and the half notes are white, whereas it's the other way around now. Now, I have a junk drawer in my kitchen, but this is a little ridiculous, so it looks like this is like the junk drawer of Rosenborg Castle. They just have a bunch of random stuff stored here for now.
The Danes are funny. This is called a trouser wedding chair. So basically it's like a prank chair. You sit down, there's supposedly like some water behind it, and then whoever sits down, well, gets wet. It's like they wet their pants. That's pretty funny.
Not a trouser wedding chair here. Looks like the royal throne. This room here has to be the grandest room of all here in Rosenborg Castle.
Visiting the throne room is a highlight of any tour, offering a glimpse into Denmark's regal grandeur. The room is an opulent display of royal power, featuring the magnificent coronation thrones of the Danish kings and queens. Guarded by 3 life-size silvered lions, the thrones are surrounded by rich tapestries depicting historic events and battles.
Another activity for the kids here just to keep them entertained. Never seen this at any other castles, but you can create your own masquerade ball with these masks over here.
I didn't make a mask, but at least I could imagine myself at a masquerade ball in the 1600s.
Another opportunity to take a break here in the throne room. Let's go raid the treasury. Here we go into the treasury. We got swords over here, and in back of me they have guns, but most importantly they got the royal brewery here. Now that's treasure. I wonder if these are barrels of Carlsbergs. And if you like an IPA, well, guess what? You're not getting any here.
While the upper levels of the castle were enjoyable to visit, I found myself having a better time checking out the treasury in the basement. Don't forget to visit it because it is truly the highlight of the castle. Most importantly, you get to see the crown jewels. In summary, we visited Amalienborg and Rosenborg in one morning by making reservations online to ensure we got in and didn't need to stand in a queue. It was enough royal history for the day, and we would visit Christianborg a couple of days later.
It's our last full day in Denmark. It's kind of like eating the last Danish cookie out of one of those cookie tins. We still have an hour and 15 minutes left on our Copenhagen card from yesterday. Remember, 24 hours. So we're going to maximize the use of it.
That's right. Remember the Copenhagen city card that was covered in the previous vlog? I'll put the link in the description, but we still had time on the 24-hour card.
Getting onto the metro one last time with the Copenhagen city card because remember, they cover all forms of public transportation. Then for the rest of the day, we're going to have to pay for the tickets, so I'm trying to maximize the use of it.
Again, it was another easy ride on the metro to Christianborg Palace. Christianborg Palace, once a royal family's residence and now is home to the Danish Parliament, is one of the few places where you can see royal rooms still in use today.
Christianborg Castle. Wow, this is huge. This looks bigger than Rosenborg. It looks like there's more things to do here. And a good use of our Copenhagen city card. This will be the last attraction we'll be able to redeem on our Copenhagen city card because our 24 hours are almost over. But first we need to cover our shoes. Are we at an open house? It's almost like going to an open house and you don't want to scuff up their new floors. I guess we won't be scuffing up over 200 years of carpeting and marble.
If this is an open house, then this is the fanciest one I've been to, and believe me, the real estate in Los Angeles is outrageous.
I feel like a royal except for the shoe covers. This is the Alexander Hall, so it was meant to give, or it was meant to host like small like festivals and banquets, but it's pretty big.
Once the royal residence, Christianborg Palace is now home to Denmark's Parliament, Supreme Court, and the Prime Minister's office. Visitors can explore the lavish royal reception rooms.
Now this would be a library that Belle from Beauty and the Beast would be jealous of.
This library is definitely more grand than the one at Amalienborg that was featured earlier in this vlog.
There's actually a second library, so yeah, definitely Belle would be jealous. Instead of a French prince, she probably should have gone after a Danish prince. I wonder if they had a Danish monster back then, or a Danish beast. They probably did. After all, this is the land of fairy tales. This room here is called the Green Room because of the green silk on the walls.
Here's the dining hall, and no, I don't mean like the ones at university. I wonder what the state banquets look like here.
This is the closest I'll be to being invited to a Danish royal banquet. This is the Velvet Room. I guess this is where important guests are greeted at before the state dinners.
Still had our shoe covers on because this is real hardwood and not laminate flooring. The painting on the ceiling depicts the Donnebro, or the Danish flag, falling from the sky in a critical battle in 1219,
One thing to note is that there's no chairs in the throne room. You know why? Because we peasants and subjects, we have to stand. Only the king and queen can sit.
The throne room is where the monarch receives foreign dignitaries. It also leads out to the balcony where the Danish monarchs are proclaimed, just like when King Frederik X stepped out in January 2024.
I saw people walking across the carpet, which is probably okay because we got the shoes covers, but no, I just can't bear myself to. I'll just stick to the wood floors. It's time to take off the plastic knees.
That marked the end of the palace part of Christianborg, but make sure to visit the royal kitchen.
Yes, this is actually what I wanted to see, which was the royal kitchen at Christianborg.
The royal kitchen offers a behind-the-scenes look at how royal feasts were prepared. Step into the historic kitchen where you'll see gleaming copper pots, traditional Danish cooking tools, and impressive ovens that once served elaborate banquets for the Danish royals. The kitchen is preserved to reflect the bustling atmosphere of a royal event.
Take a look at this mandolin. I wonder how many fingers were taken down by this thing. I know I've sliced my finger on it once. What are you making there?
I'm stirring the brew, my pretty.
Well, this is a palace. You're not a witch or a wizard.
Well, they did have witch hunts in Denmark.
Oh, yeah, that's true. How would you like your tea? That's a lot of teapots, but I guess you got to serve everybody here in the palace. From 1865, yeah, I guess they needed their coffee back then too, and lots of it. Oh, I was getting all excited, but I don't think those are real burners. Oh yeah, those are lights, and they're LED lights to give off the impression of gas burners. What's for dinner? Roast chicken. They had petit fours here, but I am most excited about the macarons. Oh no, that shell's broken. I'll still eat it. There's another cracked shell. I wonder if these are real. I mean, there's no way they could have done like a plastic model and left a cracked one.
Royal bakers are just like us, so it is reassuring to know that they even have an off day with baking macarons. This brings me great comfort as a home baker. It's easy to miss the royal kitchen tour if you're in a hurry to see all the sights, so make sure to carve a little time for it.
They're trying to demonstrate the bishop's castle around the year 1200, and I like this Danish sense of humor. They use Legos to demonstrate the town.
Visitors can explore the ruins of earlier castles that once stood on the same site beneath Christianborg Palace, offering a unique journey through over 800 years of Danish history. These ancient remnants include parts of Bishop Absalon's castle, built in the 12th century, and the later Copenhagen castle, both destroyed and rebuilt multiple times. As you walk through the dimly lit ruins, you'll uncover the stories of medieval battles, royal intrigue, and the evolution of Copenhagen itself. What I found most entertaining were the traveler reviews of Copenhagen Castle in the 1500s. If you think the reviews on TripAdvisors can be cruel, you need to check out these one-star reviews. My favorite one was written in the 1700s, which was, quote, "The castle is one of the saddest buildings in the world, surrounded by a dirty moat and with a small dark courtyard," end quote. Ouch. The underground ruins provide a fascinating contrast to the grandeur above, revealing the deep historical layers that make Christianborg an extraordinary sight. Here we go with the first edition of Christianborg Palace, which was destroyed in a fire. Then it was rebuilt into the second edition, but it got burned down again. Look, this was before they had sprinkler systems. Now we have the third edition of Christianborg Palace, which also houses the parliament. Denmark, as a constitutional monarchy, is committed to the rule of law, democratic governance, and the protection of individual rights while acknowledging the role of the monarchy. It's a delicate balance. Christianborg also offers tours of the royal stables, which were closed on the morning that we were there since there was a Red Bull event nearby. I assume the noise from that event would have scared the horses. But we were fortunate and got to see a horse and carriage come by.
That was not planned. It was just a coincidence that we came out of the ruins and there was a carriage with the horse.
With its rich heritage and active role in Danish governance, Christianborg Palace is where past and present intersect in royal style.
We're now leaving Christianborg, and I have to admit, of the 3 palaces we visited, Amalienborg and Rosenborg, Christianborg was actually my favorite one. I like seeing all of those reception rooms, and then of course the royal kitchen, and the ruins at the bottom gave us a lot of information on the history of Copenhagen and Christianborg. So it was actually like the 5th castle, I guess, or the 5th castle structure on those grounds. And most importantly, we maximize the usage of our 24-hour Copenhagen city card. When it was all said and done, according to my calculations, we spent about $99.50 going to attractions and using the public transportation system. Mind you, we spent a little over $73. It was like $73.58 per card for 24 hours. So we came out on top.
That's it for our royal attraction tour of Copenhagen. From the elegance of the marble church to the treasures of Rosenborg Castle, Copenhagen is filled with royal gems waiting to be explored. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos of our Nordic trip. We're headed to Iceland next.